What about the offer of Salt Poppy fighting on a Jake Paul card? You said he got offered, but MVP said that's fake.
Yeah,
I like that
MVP's
spot.
lying. They definitely offered to put Salt Poppy on one of the undercards.
So why did you
Jake
guys
Paul
like?
tweeted out. Jake Paul tweeted out, "I'd fuck Salt Poppy." So we immediately went into negotiations with Nikisa. All right,
Yeah.
and we started talking to Nikisa about Salt Poppy fighting Jake Paul, and it started. You know, they started acting like they were open to it, and then the counter in negotiations were, well, Salt Poppy can fight on the undercard. All right, and by the way, does anyone actually fucking believe in this entire community, right, that Nikisa and MVP Jake Paul's company wouldn't want Salt Poppy on the undercard? Does anyone believe that that's a lie? Because if you think that's a lie, you're a fucking idiot. You mean to tell me Logan Paul and Jake Paul are sitting there in a fucking room talking about Salt Poppy? Logan Paul puts $100,000 bet on Salt Poppy. They're there together. Then Jake Paul tweets out, "I'd fuck Salt Poppy." Right? You mean to tell me that those guys right there didn't want Salt Poppy on their undercard? Of course they would. Of course they would.
Yeah, for sure.
Like the fact that Nikisa or MVP would be like, "Oh, well, that's a lie." You're a fucking idiot. Who's gonna believe you, motherfucker? Like, you're dumb, bro. Don't fucking say that that's a fucking lie. Don't call me a fucking liar. Like, you're an idiot to even try to convince people that that's a lie. You're fucking dumb.
So the question is, would you want Salt Poppy on a Jake Paul undercard?
How exactly did they say that was a lie? I want to know about this. I'm a fucking.
I know they replied under like a post saying this is false news. I think that's all they said.
They're so full of fucking shit. They're so full of fucking shit.
But do you not want him on a Jake Paul undercard? Like, don't you think that's like a good move or not?
How?
I feel like that brings. I know he's getting the mainstream attention, but I feel like that'll even get him even more and maybe a closer step to a future Jake Paul fight.
Dude, Jake Paul has never had anybody on his undercard worth watching to this community, to this online community. He always puts like, pro boxers on his undercards. All right.
Yeah.
That's why nobody watches Jake Paul undercards. All right. People that buy a Jake Paul pay-per-view watch it to watch Jake Paul fight. People that buy a KSI pay-per-view watch the entire event. They watch the entire event. I will say this, MVP, all right? I went to Jake Paul versus Woodley, and guess what? The stadium was fucking empty until Jake Paul fought. And no one gave a fuck about anybody on that undercard until Jake Paul fought. I went to the KSI Misfits 1. That stadium was packed from the very fucking beginning. All right. And I've seen these other Misfits events that happen. I watch the pay-per-views. They're packed from beginning to fucking end. Jake Paul and MVP cannot even fucking come close or compare to a Misfit card. So when you ask me, don't you think that would be good for Jake Paul or for Salt Poppy to be on an undercard of Jake Paul? Let me say this. Good to who? Not good to us. That's good to Jake Paul because his undercards fucking suck. And that's a fact.
All right. Fair.
Am I wrong? Don't say fair. Am I wrong?
So in my opinion, I just thought Salt Poppy already has all of the influencer fans' attention. I just thought it would benefit him getting like pro boxers.
Oh, so Ryan Garcia is not tweeting about Salt Poppy. Eddie Hearn's not publicly tweeting about Salt Poppy. If you don't think the pro boxing scene doesn't know who Salt Poppy is, I don't know what's going on, man.
I didn't say that, Keem. That I meant the fans.
Who has a better undercard? Who has a better undercard, Jake Paul or KSI?
I'd say KSI, of course.
Thank you. I rest my case. MVP needs Salt Poppy on their undercard. We don't need to be on Jake Paul's undercard. We don't need to be on. We have Misfits.
Okay.